1. Understanding loot boxes in gaming. Loot boxes are virtual items that players can purchase or earn in games, which contain random rewards. They are often used as a monetization strategy, offering players the chance to get various in-game items or enhancements. The randomness and potential for valuable rewards raise ethical concerns. 2. The gambling debate. Loot boxes have sparked debate over whether they constitute a form of gambling. Critics argue that the randomness and potential for high-value items make them similar to gambling, as players spend real money for a chance to receive valuable rewards, much like betting. 3. Regulatory perspectives. Different countries have varying regulations on loot boxes. In some places, loot boxes are considered a form of gambling and are subject to specific laws and disclosures. Others treat them as a form of microtransaction without the same regulatory scrutiny, leading to inconsistencies in how they are addressed globally. 4. Psychological impact on players. The psychological effects of loot boxes can resemble those of gambling. The thrill of winning and the fear of missing out, FOMO, can encourage repeated purchases. This mechanism can exploit players, particularly younger audiences who may be more susceptible to these psychological triggers. 5. Developers' responsibility. Game developers face ethical questions regarding the implementation of loot boxes. Responsible practices include transparency about odds and providing clear information on what players can expect from their purchases. Developers should ensure that loot boxes do not exploit players' gambling tendencies, especially in games targeted at younger audiences. 6. Consumer protection and transparency. Transparency is a key aspect of ethical loot box practices. Many argue that game developers should disclose the odds of receiving specific items from loot boxes and ensure that players are fully informed before making purchases. This transparency can help mitigate some of the ethical concerns surrounding loot boxes. 7. Alternative monetization models. To address ethical concerns, some propose alternative monetization strategies. Options include direct purchases of in-game items or cosmetic upgrades without the element of chance. These models can offer players more control and clarity over their spending without the gambling-like aspects of loot boxes. 8. Industry responses and changes. In response to criticism, some game developers and publishers have made changes to their loot box systems. Adjustments include reducing the prevalence of loot boxes, increasing transparency, and implementing safeguards to protect vulnerable players. These steps aim to address ethical concerns and improve player trust. 9. Player awareness and advocacy. Players can play a role in addressing ethical issues by staying informed and advocating for fair practices. By supporting games and developers that prioritize ethical monetization strategies and transparent loot box systems, players can influence industry standards and promote responsible gaming practices. 10. The future of loot boxes. The future of loot boxes will likely involve continued scrutiny and potential regulatory changes. As the debate evolves, both developers and regulators will need to address the ethical implications and find a balance between monetization and protecting players from gambling-like experiences.